Hey y'all, it's the wine loving bookworm back with another book and wine review for your Sunday night. I think I let y'all know I was going to miss last week because we were on vacation in Maine. So I'm back. And I am really trying to play around with the lighting in this room because the overhead lights are like super oppressive. This light, I don't really feel like it, it's kind of like interrogation or something. I don't know. But this is what we're doing tonight. I still don't have my little book nook really complete in the house, so I can't do it in front of there right now, but maybe next week. I've really done a lot of work on the house, so, we're making progress. Anyway, so let's jump right in. Let's start with the wine. My brother, just recently saw him. I don't see him all that much, and he went to the Biltmore estate in North Carolina on vacation with his family, and he brought me this bottle of wine. It's I actually don't know what kind of wine it is. It's just a red wine. It says Cardinals Crest red wine. So let's give it a shot. Oh, and the reason we were on vacation in Maine is because I had a birthday and I turned 40. Oh my God. So last night, my husband was being all weird. Like, we were going to go out, and he's like being all weird. Like, we can't leave now. We got to wait a few minutes. And I'm just like, what? Okay. So we walk into our favorite bar. I just thought we were going out to eat or whatever. And there are my two friends from work, who I live kind of far away from my work, about 45 to 60 minutes away. So I was just so thrilled to see them, that they came out. They wanted to celebrate my 40th birthday a little late, and it was awesome. So anyway, we love the show Friends, and they did a whole Friends themed gift. And this is, I don't know if you can see this, but it's the one where Sarah turns 40, and she made me a wine glass. Is that not the freaking amazingest, cutest thing in the world? So I had to use it tonight. So we're going to try that Biltmore red wine in my new wine glass. Oh, that's good. I love red wine. That is delicious. Whatever kind of wine it is. I wonder if it says on here. No, I ain't going to read that whole thing right now, but delicious. So Biltmore Cardinal Crest red wine, if you're ever in the area. Plug for North Carolina, Asheville, Biltmore, where the Biltmore estate is, kind of outside of Asheville. Gorgeous. One of my favorite vacations ever that we took there. Okay, so let's jump into the book. I read Before We Were Yours by Lisa Wingate. Sorry. And it's a historical fiction book, which I kind of got from the book a little bit, but I actually Googled it, and it's actually based upon a true story. Well, let's start with Lisa. She is a former journalist. She's an inspirational speaker. And something that set me a little aback was they said she has written 30 novels. And I'm like, I went to see a talk with Lori Roy, who I really like, who writes books. And she says it takes her like 2 years to write a book. So sometimes when I hear 30 novels, I'm like, really? Like, are they all that good? Is that like Danielle Steele or something? But then I think about the fact that I love Stephen King. He's written more than that. So I don't know. I kind of go back and forth about it, but it just kind of set me back that she's written 30 novels, and she doesn't seem that old. And she was a journalist before, Seems like you're cranking out novels, But anyway, she was nominated for the Pat Conroy Southern Book Prize, Oklahoma Book Award, Carroll Award, the Christie Award, and the RT Book Lovers Reviews Choice Award. Before We Were Yours, this book won the 2017 Goodreads Choice Award for historical fiction, and she lives in Texas. Okay, so this book is based on true events, and those events are super effed up, okay? Kids and orphanages and all that stuff, it's awful. So this family was raised on the river. They had 4 girls and 1 boy, ages 2 to 12, and the oldest at 12 was a girl. Her name is Rill. I think it was Gabion, Camilla, Lark, Fern, and Rill. Their mother is pregnant again, and so they live on a river. They live on a frickin' boat in the river. Like, I'm assuming Mississippi River. It's in Tennessee somewhere. they have a midwife, but she is having some distress, and they're like, you have to get to the hospital. So the father, like, hops on a boat, like a, what do you call them? Not a skiff. God, I'm saying that right. Wrong. I'm saying that right. I'm saying that wrong, right? A skiff. And takes her to the hospital. So the kids are on the boat by themselves. It becomes the next day, and these police show up, and they're like, they're police, so they go with them. And the police are like, oh, we're going to take you to the hospital to see your mom, and blah, blah, blah. And so they go with them, and instead they take him to a freaking orphanage. And they basically say, oh, your parents don't want you anymore. They signed the papers over, and now you're just a ward of the state. So this orphanage is awful. They are treated awfully. There's a guy there that they hint around that molests kids. It's just, they hang them up in this closet when they're bad. It's awful. So a lot of them are adopted out. The youngest boy, who's like 2, is adopted. And then the 2 young girls are adopted. The one other girl kind of disappears under mysterious circumstances. They kind of allude to the fact that she's been murdered by the orphanage. Something, or an accident, kind of. They put her in the closet and then she died. I don't know. I wish they would have kind of elaborated on that a bit more, but they didn't. So anyway, the 2 younger girls, but the 12-year-old girl's still there. She ends up, though, being placed in the home with one of the younger girls because she's so scared, and she's upset and everything. So the family goes and adopts the older 12-year-old to help her out. Anyway, and also they change all their names. They have kind of cool names like Fern, Lark, Camilla, Gavion, and Rill, like I said. And they change all their names because they want them to be more like society, because they tell all these people who are adopting the kids, oh, their mom was in college and then the mom died in labor and the dad took off. So they're making them seem like they're something they're not. And there's basically a selling babies situation because they're charging exorbitant adoption fees. You're basically buying a child in this. And the book goes back and forth between present day and the past. So all the childhood moments are told from the first person of Rill. And then the present day is told from a woman named Avery, who you later find out is a granddaughter of maybe one of these sisters. So they kind of go back and forth on that. It's apparently based upon true events, like I said. In Tennessee, they would trick the parents into signing over their rights. These kind of ignorant, just kind of poverty level people signing over their rights to their kids, and they take them and they put them in there. So this is basically a true story. Like, they did this crap, and they were so mistreated, which is just awful. The book I actually enjoyed, and my mom was like, I don't know if you're gonna like it because it's a love story. It is kind of a love story, and I didn't like that part of it. I thought it was much better done than kind of Sold on a Monday, which I talked about before. It didn't, it was totally different than that. And I really liked the childhood parts, like the orphanage part and how they grew up and how she was so protective over her siblings. I really enjoyed that part. The present day part kind of fell flat a little bit. It just came off a little cliche, cheesy, I don't know. There's also a love story, like I said, woven in there, which, although I felt it was unnecessary, I didn't mind it until the girl was, like, fawning over the guy, and there are all these, like, internal thoughts. Oh, I feel a spark, and I feel butterflies. I just, blah, I don't love love stories to begin with. I don't mind them in books that are about something else. But when you start being cheesy like that, you lose me. So it was like one chapter about present day, one chapter about in the past. So I was always looking forward to the chapters about their childhood in the past because those were much more interesting to me. Also, the children run into their biological father later on, and he was just a hot mess. I didn't like it. He seemed like a caricature. I just didn't think it was genuine. I didn't like the whole biological father later on. So, but anyway, I enjoyed this book. I would actually give it like 4 out of 5 stars. I thought it was a pretty good book. It was my book club book. Again, I'll show it to you. Before We Were Yours by Lisa Wingate. But I didn't go to book club because I was in Maine. We were on vacation in Maine. I think I mentioned that before. So I didn't go to book club. All right, so moving on. Last week, I think I said I was going to read Jodi Picoult's House Rules, and I decided not to take it with me because it's like huge, and we were flying Frontier, which charges for every like ounce you bring. So I decided to leave this at home. So I'm going to finish it. I'm kind of like, what's that, like a third of the way through it? So I think I'll be able to finish it next week, and then I'm going to review this one. This one's really interesting to me, and I like to see where it goes. So we'll see. Anyway, pick up Before We Are Yours by Lisa Wingate. I did really like this. It's a very easy read. It's not difficult. It's not tough. Like, I plowed through several chapters just in the last few days. So a good one to pick up. If you're ever in the North Carolina region, which I would highly recommend, go to the Biltmore. Even if your husband's like, ew, I don't want to tour a mansion like my husband, he'll like it. Let me tell you, my husband liked it when he went. So, and then pick yourself up a bottle of wine because they have a whole winery there. It's awesome. And then, wish me a happy birthday, or if you want to, the one where Sarah turns 40. That's this episode. Anyway, guys, have a great week, and I will see you next Sunday. Cheers.